Hello, this is Caitlin Gorman, and my final presentation is about the best ways to digitalize formative assessments in the classroom. So in this presentation, we'll discuss the student benefits of 5 different assessment tools and what they're used for, and then we'll go through a brief overview of how a teacher would use each assessment tool and how to actually go about making the assessments. And then we will go over the applications and types of assessments that I would use each tool for, as well as how to analyze the data that you get from each tool. So to start, these are the formative assessment tools that I'll be talking about. Plickers, Delta Math, ClassKick, Socrative, and Nearpod. All of these have different uses in the classroom. Plickers is great for a quick check during the lesson, whether it's a warm-up, exit slip, or a quick check in the middle of the lesson to make sure that students are paying attention. I think that Plickers is a great tool just to use for something very quickly. Nearpod is an engaging presentation tool, and it also incorporates quick checks throughout the presentation. The difference between these two is that Plickers, you don't need to have a PowerPoint presentation. You can just do it with whatever tool that you use for presenting information. And then Nearpod involves a PowerPoint as well. And then Socrative is great for longer assessments that you want like maybe 5 problems in a row for students to do, like a skills check over something you've been working on, or a review activity before a quiz. And then ClassKick usually is a way to spice up a worksheet and incorporate more student-teacher interactions electronically, and students can work at their own pace, but also they can also get some more feedback, and this teacher can monitor where they're at. Delta Math is more of a homework tool that gives immediate feedback, and teachers can use that data from the homework to see how students are doing on the homework each night. So now that we've gone through what each of those tools kind of do, I want to talk about the student benefits of each tool. So using Plickers is a great tool to get immediate feedback from students during instruction, even if they don't have a device. So I'll show you what that looks like with what students actually have in their hands and what they're actually doing. But they don't have to have a device, only the teacher has to have a device, either a phone or an iPad is best. And then the teacher's able to check in with each student in a matter of seconds. So it only takes a few seconds to get all the students' answers. And then students can see whether or not they got the question right and compare themselves to the rest of the class if you would like that option. And it also allows for good class discussion. Maybe why did a lot of people pick this answer even if it was wrong? It's useful for class discussions. The student benefits of Nearpod. The purpose of Nearpod is to incorporate formative assessment tools into instruction, and there's quite a few different tools that are different from what you would see on Plickers or on Socrative. And it's also incorporated within a PowerPoint presentation. So students can see the presentation on their device, whether it's a Chromebook or an iPad or their phone, as the teacher's going through it. Students can interact with the presentation through the different assessment tools that I'll show you. And it increases student engagement because they're watching the presentation in front of them, and they're also completing activities during the presentation, which requires student participation. And it also allows students to participate without having to be put on the spot or come up in front of the class to present. They can do it through their device. Socrative, the purpose of Socrative is to formatively assess students through like a skills check or a review activity. Students are able to get that immediate feedback, and teachers are able to grade and look for student understanding more efficiently, as it gives the data to teachers immediately, and teachers can look through it quickly. Unlike through paper, you have to go through and grade each one. Socrative does that for you. And then teachers can assess through different types of problems. There's multiple choice, short response, checklist, and we'll go through those when we go through how to use it. ClassKick is a different kind of activity where you can just upload a worksheet. Students can work through it on their device, either an iPad or a Chromebook. Typically is best so that students can actually write on it. Students are able to ask for help and receive help from the teacher without other students knowing. So I'll show you what that looks like when we go through it as well. And then the teacher can display any student work on the board really quickly without putting a student on the spot to foster different discussions and maybe compare different work examples. And the student benefits of Delta Math is that students are able to get more assistance and feedback while completing their homework assignments. When I talk about assistance, they can actually get an example problem for each problem that they're completing. They can view an example, and then that example can help them with completing each problem. They can also get that immediate feedback. It tells them if they miss the problem, and then it goes through the work of how to do that problem, but then it can assign more problems to them if you have that setting, but that's not a required setting, and they don't have to go through those two problems unless you want them to. So that's it for the student benefits of each of these tools. Next, we're going to go through how to actually use them.